And we are live once again for like the 750th time here on Heavy Muscle Radio. It is June 26, 2022, and I'm joined by Chris Aceto, the technician. Yeah, Chris, I try to figure out how many shows we've done. It's
oh my
over
gosh.
700 already. Can you believe it?
Yeah, good thing we didn't do them consecutively. Besides we'd be in Guinness Book World Record.
Yeah. It's the I think we are. You know, maybe Carl Lenore, but I don't. He's not really technically bodybuilding. I think we're the longest running bodybuilding podcast consecutively for like 14 years now.
Like days of our lives.
Yeah. We're very dependable. We're always there.
No, the soap opera. How long's General Hospital been running? Huh?
I don't know. It's probably since
I used to watch it in I think 5th grade, 6th grade.
I was gonna say it has to be running our whole school career. I know that. You know?
Well, General Hospital was like Instagram of its day. You know, just like fake people, right? Just fake living and like people having affairs.
I didn't like
driving Lamborghinis.
I didn't like the soap operas. I liked the spoof on the soap operas. Remember the show Soap with Billy Crystal? He played a gay guy on there.
Yeah, it was great. That was a great show.
Yeah, that was very funny, right?
Oh yeah, it was on at 9:30.
Now we're really
which was
dating
too late
ourselves, Chris. Yeah.
Well, not only was
it late at night.
Yeah, and they would have to. It was like controversial that they were the topics.
God forbid a gay man on TV right now. Nowadays, it's like you're not even allowed to even say the word gay because it's like it's politically incorrect. You have to like say non-binary or whatever.
You know, if Clarence Thomas wants to rescind gay marriage after
abortion.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I didn't watch the news. It's too depressing. But we had a lot going on in the world.
Good thing he's married to a white insurrectionist. Otherwise, I'd be in trouble too. He may do away with interracial marriage. I'd have to leave the country, go to Canada, go live with Ron Partlow up in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Or I could go to Brazil and live with Eduardo Correa and Horse MD.
We'll get to that in a minute, but it's Tom Platz's birthday. Did you see that?
Oh no! Happy birthday, Tom Platz.
Yeah, the Golden Eagle. The Golden Eagle.
We're going to watch him squat, which is the world's worst form in the history.
But this is that crazy. He did 238 kilograms. It was like over 500 pounds, something like that, for 23 reps.
Yeah,
crazy.
He's probably
This was epic.
Yeah, he goes down remarkably fast. He's got perfect knees and the worst. Like it's just like free fall. Oh, that's pretty good for him. Slow.
No, he was a good squatter, Chris. He always did full range of motion. He was like
he did double full. That's what I mean. He had good knees.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, it was Fred Hatfield. I'm sorry, Tom.
You're thinking Fred Hatfield. Yeah.
It's
a miracle that his legs are still in one piece. Yeah.
Nobody squatted faster than
Hatfield.
Yeah. He would go in free fall on the way down.
Which is super dangerous when you're looking at that kind of heavy weight.
Well,
I think he squatted 1,000 pounds. Hatfield,
he had something in his head that, like, some process. Like if you go down
to Hatfield,
Hatfield. We are in the landlord business. Hatfield.
Look at Kazmaier. Did you see Kazmaier in the background right behind him?
Yeah.
He looks like a grizzly bear there.
Hatfield's mother rented for 30 years from my grandmother from Italy.
Actually, isn't that Hatfield behind Tom? Watch him, he goes down. Oh, I don't know if you missed it.
Let's see him.
Hold on, let me rewind it.
There's Jimmy Quinn?
Yeah, that's Jimmy Quinn. Okay. Isn't that Hatfield?
Yeah, that's Hatfield. Yeah, that's definitely Hatfield. Yeah.
He looks like your uncle, like from Look at Tom here.
Hatfield taught Lee Haney a lot about the basics to the training and nutrition. Ask Lee.
Oh, he did?
Yep. Because Lee is he has a really good understanding of the way the body works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of, how Dorian would be like, well, let's not even talk about Dorian. How about Lee Haney? Stimulate, don't annihilate. That's his, his saying that he's known for.
Sayings, yeah.
But he would cycle his training through the year, you know what I mean? And he got that from Fred, where he would like go balls to the walls for a certain amount of time,
right?
Medium for a certain amount of time, high volume for a certain amount of time, heavier. And he also got the nutrition basics from Fred.
I didn't know that. It's interesting.
Yeah, him and Fred were pretty tight.
How did they even hook up the two of those guys?
At Weeder office.
Oh, the Weeder offices?
Yeah, Joe was good friends with Hatfield. He used to give him the free ads in the mag.
I didn't know that.
And because Fred used to contribute some sort of snippet of powerlifting info for Muscle and Fitness, which Joe
wow. He wrote like an
I mean?
article or something like that. I got you. Yeah.
See my Muscle Tech jacket in the back right there from 19. See behind me
This
over
guy,
there.
right? Platt squatted that much because he was on Cadaver GH. Does anyone see the size of his legs? Oh my God. He was one of the few people in California that squatted it at all. I got news for you.
Dave, when the funny thing about Platts was if you went to a leg training session, which I did because I worked at the bodybuilding camp, and he'd come out and he'd train at the camp up at Loyola Marymount University. His legs would, as big as they were, they'd double in size.
Yeah.
But his upper body would go down to like a regular person. It was bizarre.
Isn't it weird how he had those weird genetics? He could have done if he was competing nowadays, he could do wellness, I guess, right?
Well, when he'd get pumped up, he'd look like Centurion. You know, the is it Centauri or the, you know, with the little upper body and the giant, like
I think he had the best legs of all time. You know, I don't think there's anyone even close to him. They don't even look real on his body because they were just so humongous, right? I mean, it was crazy. You know what his problem was? He had narrow shoulders. He was very narrow, bone structure wise. So no matter how big he got, he just never really balanced his body off. But you know what? Who cares? He was known for those legs. That's what made him, famous. So
yeah, he remember we did the wrap up at the Olympia with him and Samir in the parking lot.
That's right.
That's right.
I forgot about that. Someone's mentioning. Remember Roger Stewart? I mean, he had good legs.
Oh yeah, he had great legs. Bleckman loved Roger Stewart.
Did he? I should have known.
Because he loved the legs. Yeah, look at those legs there. I think they did let's do a leg special with him, Godzilla, and Platts. They did.
I can see it.
We'll call it Legatopia.
Legzilla. He did have good legs. He was another one who had trouble with his upper body, but he had good legs. I don't think he ever turned pro, did he? No. That was back in the day when it was really hard to turn pro.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Dave. Yeah. He would have found some type of show somewhere on earth to win his pro card.
Now he could probably get win the 60 and over.
Yeah, over 60. Yeah, but they're having that on Wednesdays following. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday show now for Gary.
Now they had a pro show this weekend in Brazil, which with some controversy we'll talk about in a little bit. But let's mention the men's open winner, Victor Boff. Shredded, huh?
Yeah, he's very. This is his best. And,
absolutely right.
Yeah, he's prepped by Eduardo Correa.
Is he really? I didn't know that.
Yep, and they're good buddies. And
he looked great.
Actually, Eduardo just posted a funny thing on Instagram about me prepping him and him prepping this guy.
Oh, that's funny. How old is he?
I don't know how old he is. I don't know.
I mean, he looks really good. I mean, this is...
Yeah, it's got a rugged look, deep legs, really good back double.
Yeah, I'm going to pull that up right now.
Big arms.
He's got a grainy look. It looks like there's a filter on the pictures. That's how grainy it is. And obviously there isn't because, these are just pictures that are up there. But I love to see guys that really do their homework and really gets crazy conditioned. Let's see his back double there. There's the back double, Chris.
Yes, his back's really good. It's thick traps. It's got some width to it, right?
Yeah.
Thick lower back.
I mean, just the detail in there is ridiculous. How does he do now that he's qualified for the Olympia? How does he do in that Olympia stage?
Well, they won't look at him because they're not gonna. It's gonna be too overwhelming. You know what I mean? It's just the way he
is here. Too.
You know what's so funny, Dave? It's funny that you said that, and he's bigger than those pictures show. Because Eduardo had sent me pictures here and there, and I was, I saw him on stage, and I said, he doesn't look that big, but when you see him in the hotel, you know what I mean? When you get a different perspective.
I'm surprised we didn't see more guys from the U.S. down here at this show.
know.
It was like they forgot about the show that existed, you know?
Well, I don't know. They probably, I don't know. Was it of course it was on the schedule, I guess. I don't know why people didn't go. It was all Brazilians. I helped the guy who got third, by the way.
Oh, okay.
He's the Jay Cutler of Brazil. You can put up his side chest or his most muscular. Those are his best shots.
Let's put up
or his back lat, but his best is most muscular and side chest.
I was going to put up the comparison here. First call out comparison. Everyone was in really good shape.
Yeah.
Which is surprising. Usually at shows you don't see that. So the Brazilians, it seems like bodybuilding is really blowing up in Brazil, even with the Classic and the Open, right?
I bet they had I'm sure they had 3,000 to 4,000, if no lower than 3,000 people here in the prejudging.
Oh, you think so? That many?
Oh, absolutely.
Let's pull up.
They go nuts.
Oh, they got they really love their bodybuilding there. It's an important sport to them. Wellington Batista. Let's pull his picture up. He's second here.
He's got
another really shredded, crazy, grainy looking guy. He looks like his size maybe not as big as some of these other guys, but man, is he lean, right?
Yeah, he was. His most muscular is really good. It's got a little hint of Dexter Jackson. In other words, he's not that big, but when he hits a shot on the most muscular, it's really impressive.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, he's kind of like a Dexter. Like he's like really grainy hard. He's not the biggest guy up there, but he makes everyone else look bad, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Good lat spread.
William Martins, which is who you've been working with, I know, for a number of years now. He seems to be just get better and better every year. He's a big kid, right?
Yeah, he's huge, wide.
He just needs to keep adding more size. What does he weigh now, Chris?
It was 121 for the prejudge, 121 times 2.2 equals 266.
All right, so what do you think? I mean, this is the best I've seen him.
Yeah, it's his best. I mean, it's a good combination of 266 and hardness.
What does he need to do to get to that next level? More size, you think?
Yeah, I think that keep this size and just come in super peeled, because the knock is the structure, like on the front double and the stand and relax. Because he swamps people on certain shots.
Yeah.
Most muscular is totally crazy. Side chest, totally crazy. Side triceps, really good. Back lat spread's really, really good. His stand and relax and line up. He's got really deep hams, well-developed hams. He could use more traps there in the back lat spread,
I think he just needs more muscle on his body because he's such a big, freaky guy. He can just, it's almost like he can hold another 20 pounds on that frame. It's crazy when you think about
it. It's funny. That's what, I mean, people do compare him to Jay, but, Jay always used to kid when he used to post me when he was a kid is, my pecs are huge. They just look small. Because I look down on him. They look huge, but he's wide. So, he was right. It takes so long to fill him in.
Yeah, I mean, he needs more width to his back. This guy, William, and I think it's just going to be a matter of put on another 20 pounds over the next 2-3 years, and I think he's going to be very dangerous.
We're going to try to do it in 2 or 3 weeks. We'll see what happens.
Put him on the insulin protocol.
We're going to insulin him and Jimmy him. Wilson asked, "Are the shoulders Jimmy?" They look very Jimmy. I know.
Who asked that?
It's funny. That Jimmy Dave has become like it's become like peeled or ripped or shredded. It's like normal. Like people recognize what Jimmy is. Like, oh yeah, he's Jimmy Dare.
It's become part of our vocabulary.
Yeah, vernacular. Is that it? Vernacular vocabulary. Yeah. Your father would comment on it.
Yeah, it's part of our urban whatever language there. I think Romano's trying to get in here. I don't know why he can't get on there. Hold on.
And then they had a big classic upset down there in
now let's talk about that classic, because the guy everyone was talking about was this Horse MD guy from Instagram. And I'm gonna pull his thing up. Marcelo De Angelis. Got a great physique, the kid. There's no doubt about that. And he was supposed to make weight. Now, here's the controversy, supposedly. He was supposed to make weight at this show, but he claims that he was going up in height class. Now, I've never in the history of covering shows, Chris, ever heard anyone say they're moving up in height. Because, you know, once you stop growing, you stop growing, right?
No, you can stretch it out and stand on your tippy toes. And
I've said this before, Chris. I've said, you know what? At the beginning of when you turn pro, they should height you in, and that's your height for the rest of your pro career.
Period.
They should never have to measure you again.
Ever.
Right?
You should fly to Pittsburgh or do something. Get on the official NPC IFBB. Dave, you've said it, and you know what? Well, people will torpedo it, and I think it's going to.
10 years. I've been saying
you have been saying
5
it.
5 years or whatever it is, yeah.
Because I know people's like, well, they measured me this time at 5'6". Last time they measured me at 5'6 3/4. Now they measured me at third show 5'7". I have to lose like, or whatever it may be. You know, I came in shorter, so I have to lose 4 pounds.
This kid, I mean, who's got obviously a very, very good physique, said that I'm going to come in taller. So he was supposedly going to chiropractors, and he was going and getting stretched. And I mean, the whole thing sounds completely insane, almost. Okay, and he goes and gets measured at the show, and of course he's the same height, right? So now he's 6 pounds overweight. So he goes to the weigh-in, and at the weigh-in, there's like some funny business. Like first he steps on the scale and they call out that he's the right weight, and then someone says, "Wait," another coach, like Chris Aceto is sitting there and say, "Wait a second, that's not the right weight." And supposedly it wasn't the right weight. And then they see, oh, this is the right weight, and now he's too heavy for the show. So now they're like, well, you don't need to make the weight. So he wanted to come back and weigh in again, and so they just disqualified him. They couldn't do the show. Which is weird because I don't know why he wouldn't just do the open. He's originally an open bodybuilder, isn't he?
Yeah, I thought, yeah, he was open guy.
So why wouldn't Chris, if you get ready for a show and you prepare and you put everything you got into it, and obviously this cockamamie story he came up with was he was preparing not to make the weight, it almost seems like, right? I mean, because there was no way, unless they were going to push him through, and that's what he thought was going to happen, and then when they exposed him, it didn't. There's no way that this guy was going to make this weight. So why wouldn't you just say, okay, you know what? All right, I fucked up. It didn't work. The ploy didn't work. I'm not the tight I thought I was going to be. I'll just do the open class because I'm in shape anyway. I don't want to not do the show. What do you think? What do you think happened here?
You know, I don't know what happened. It was a fiasco, is what, you know, to conclude what happened. And you know, you can't go to a weigh-in 3 kilograms over, you know, 6.6 pounds. You can go a kilogram over because you can drop a kilogram. I know somebody who just dropped 3 in 1 hour recently.
Chris, I saw you drop Reagan Grimes 25 pounds in 2 days. So I mean,
it was 3 days, but
why couldn't this guy drop 6 pounds?
Because I think he only had, I don't know how much time he had. If he had a day, he could have made it easily, unless he was just totally
Chris,
all
he could have done it
out.
in 2 hours. John, how many hours does it take to lose 6 pounds?
Depends on what drugs you use.
Yeah, and you could have taken a shot of injectable Lasix.
I would do. I would IV Lasix. Yeah, that's what I would do.
And then he had, you know what I mean. But even if he couldn't make the weight, why not do the open show?
Looking like that, you would gotta wonder. I mean, geez.
Well, he might have in his head thought that, okay, I already gave up weight to try to come in as a classic guy,
right.
And so why would I want to go in not my quote biggest or my thickest,
right,
or roundest or fullest, whatever.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
And you know, once something is blown in your head as a competitor, is blown in your head. In other words, once you get on the scale and you're that far off, you know, you can't. It's hard to think rationally at that point. You know, where someone say, "Hey, wait, just, you know, let's work the other way and take a day and eat a little bit and see if you know, go into the open." It's like, you know, my whole mission was to come in classic.
Right. Yeah, but you know what, John? This guy said, like, weeks out, he was already saying, you know what? I'm moving up in height class. I'm not kidding. He said he's going to go and he's going to the chiropractor. They're stretching him.
What?
He's going to be taller so that he can weigh more. He was preparing people on Instagram, telling people this. And
gaslighting, Dave.
Great definition for gaslighting.
So, John, what happens? He goes to the show and they height him in, and what happens? He's the same height as he always is. So, of course, he's he's overweight now.
Wait, back up. He seriously tried to
Yes.
get taller,
Yes.
like they do in China.
John, I heard he was, and he sneezed twice before stepping on the height thing, and he dropped down a little bit.
Well, you know, desperation is an incredible mechanism, I got to say. Now in China, they'll break your tibia and fibia and
Yeah, I don't think that was an option.
Stretcher thing on. You got to go away for like 6 months, and every couple of days they turn the bolts a couple of cranks, and it stretches the.
Don't give anyone any.
So the bone, it's like the epiphysis in the bone when you're young. It's like it never really heals. So just as it's getting healed, they pull it apart a little more, and you know. That's how you got these, 6'3" Chinamen walking around.
Well, they used to be 5'4".
Exactly.
You know what the problem, John, with that is? It's not transferable to the next generation. It's not like they got to figure out how to change the DNA. That's.
But I mean, short of that, I mean, you got a better chance of making your penis longer than getting taller. I mean,
John, but the controversy was he was supposed to weigh in at 101. And he weighed in and they yelled 101. And I guess he jumped off the scale. And like there was someone there, like another trainer who I actually know.
Yeah.
Who's a very, very good coach down there, and said, well, wait a minute. He has the iPhone evidence right here that he's, 25 pounds overweight.
They got caught with their pants down here pretty much. But this guy said that he got disqualified completely. So he couldn't compete in any of the. Why would they disqualify him just for missing weight? I don't understand. What would be the purpose of that?
He tried getting taller. That's why the cat was out of
No,
the bag.
because at that point, Dave, if they had him in the show, it would be it's too much. It's you use caught with their pants down. How about this? Egg on their face.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah.
So, I mean, if you let them go and you come back, maybe some point people at that point would have complained and said, we have a deadline for weighing in. You got to make it at that point in time. If you don't make it at that point in time, you're out of the show.
So what's worse?
It would have. Here's the point, Dave.
6 pounds is nothing.
But Dave, had he come back, it would have looked like if he had come back to make the weight, it would have made it looked like the fix was in for him. In other words, he didn't make the weight. You said he made the weight, even though he didn't. You made an announcement. You made a mistake, and then after that, after you were called out on that, you gave him extra time, or what would be perceived as extra time, whether that be 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, or another day to come in and make the weight.
Right.
It would have left this impression. You wanted him in at that weight.
Right.
And so they had to, their back was against the wall, and they said, okay, you're disqualified. I can 100% guarantee, I don't care what the spin is, but that's the way it went down.
Yeah. What he should have done when he didn't come in taller, he should have gone right to his room and did whatever he had to do to make the weight. He obviously thought they were going to let him fly.
He didn't come in taller. I'm never gonna. That. Which is worse? Jimmied up shoulders or going up a height class?
Well, John, what's it? I guess if you had to make a weight, could you make a class? Could you cheat and bend a little bit to come in shorter? Seriously, could you come in shorter? Because I know people who try to make the class, they try to stand as tall as they can and stretch everything that they can.
Right.
Can you slump
is
down?
there some cultures, John, where they put something on your head where they give you like a
They stretch their head.
They stretch you. They got the head really make the head longer.
And their neck gets like 2 feet.
They put you in a vice, and they squeeze your head like this until your head stretches.
How about
that's in Tulum? That's in Tulum, where the
yes.
the pyramids are in Tulum. They stretch their head out.
Yep.
In Mexico.
Oh, really? Is that where it is?
Yes. So
God, maybe you can get a Horse MD in touch with the people in Mexico down there that stretch.
With the people in Tulum.
How about the bound feet? Don't the Japanese do that, right?
Women, right?
Well, they do that. A lot of super heavies do that with the waist now, John. They put on the.
Yeah, a lot of wellness girls do that to their waist. Well, it's. I don't. There's like a line, and on one side there's like oddity, and then the other side there's the sport, and then the middle is that gray area, where you got the wellness girls with the booty injections, but they got abs and like, what do you do with all of that? You know, it's now they're trying to get taller. They're going up a height class. I mean, this is fucking nuts.
I'm going up 2 next time, John. I'm going to go up 2 different height classes.
I want to go up a height class.
Hold on, I think I found an answer to it. Hold on, I found an answer to our problems here. Hold on.
We're all going to get taller.
We're gonna send Horse MD to this guy. Hold on, there we go.
I never wanted to be taller.
See that guy?
There you go.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right there. Artificial cranial stretching.
So what do you bind your occlusion train your forehead? Is that how you
You jimmy it up, John.
occlusion train your eyebrows?
They have all these skulls from
Maybe somebody to like at the height end rather than the weigh in, they could wear like a toupee with a little piece of like plywood underneath it to add like 1/4 of an inch.
An elevator toupee. Chris, you're a freaking genius. You put the toupee on, right, and a little bladder underneath between the scalp and the thing, and you put this little button, right, and you press it.
Yeah.
And then it goes up, right? And then you can get how much you need to make a height class.
John, you could go to the height division. You could go for the height measurement with a haircut if you're African American, like flat. Remember flat top?
Yeah.
Who
was that guy who would perform on the boardwalk there?
Flat top with the dancer.
Flat top. Oh yeah, flat top.
Yeah. It was like a spoiler, you know, like a wing on the back of a car.
Sean Ray had with the wig, right? That went on the top. You could put one of those on there, a little toupee on the top of your head too. That's Chris. The brilliance of his ideas. Yeah. You put the bladder under the toupee, so you stand there and you pump it, and then stop. Your head goes up.
John, you can jimmy anything up.
That's
calves,
right.
shoulders.
Craig Titus used to put weights in his pocket in his posing suit so that he would weigh more on the scale, so people looked like he weighed more at the weigh-in. You know.
No, he didn't. Did he?
Yes, he did. Oh, he did. Absolutely. Yeah. He'd get fishing weights. You know the fishing weights.
Yeah, the fishing weights.
And he used to put them in his I guess jock strap, whatever.
But that was for bragging rights because he didn't have to make a weight class.
No, he wanted to weigh more, John. To make
he wanted people to know because everybody exaggerates their weight, and he's saying, "Oh, see, I'm telling you the truth because I have a 10-pound plate in my pants."
John, can you please clarify that you do not have a drinking problem? You have a marijuana problem.
I have both today. You know, some days, you know, this is a bad day. You know, because by the time Sunday is over, I'm fucking hammered. I mean, you know, I've been on the lake, I've been at the pool, I've been smoking, drinking. You know, it's Sunday. You know.
You got to get ready for Monday. You got to get focused for Monday. You got to be like total.
I'm clearing my head so I can get focused for Monday.
All right, we excuse you. It is Sunday night.
Sake, plum wine, and club soda. It's nothing bad.
Plum wine. I love plum wine. You got that? They have that at the Japanese restaurant.
Yeah, with a little sake in it and club soda. It's awesome. Yeah,
delicious. So let me see. Hold on. What else do I want to bring up here?
So how many inches was he? How tall was he trying to get? I mean, how tall do you have to get to make a weight cut?
The point I was making, John, was that it's ridiculous that they don't just height these guys in one time when you turn pro, and then that's your height for the rest of your fucking career.
You should just say what's on your fucking driver's license.
Yeah, well, that's they don't measure you necessarily.
Everyone would cheat on John. They would cheat on that one big time.
It should go on your NPC card there or IFBB card.
On your passport.
Exactly. Chris, what did you think of the 212 champ Jafar Adenizi?
Rock hard peeled. He's always rock hard and peeled, but you know it's a great question. You know, he's a little straight up and down.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
I was watching Aladdin with my kids, and you know the return of Jafar. Here he is. He's a bodybuilder now.
You know, he's outstanding. I think this is the second show he's won in the last like 8 months or so.
Yeah, no, he's freaky hard. All these Brazilian guys were in really good shape. I gotta take my hat off to them. I mean, they really did their homework here.
They take it seriously in Brazil.
I was just saying it's gotten much more It seems like bodybuilding has really grown there recently. I don't know if I'm.
Well, they were or continually are, years behind us. So as they catch up, and learn more shit and apply more things and get more results and start learning the more advanced shit, that's what you get. I mean, Brazil has been pumping out some insane women. Forget about it. The
genetics there, the genetic pool down there is crazy. What do you think that? And I don't know, because I remember back in the 90s, anabolics were really easy to get there. Matter of fact, a lot of the anabolics that were in New York came from Brazil, like Hemogenin, which was Anadrol 50 from there, and they had a bunch of other stuff there. What's the situation like now, Chris? Is it more restricted, or is it still seem to be like Mexico, where you can kind of get whatever you want?
I don't know.
What do your guys tell you down there? They ever talk about that?
No, I mean, people don't talk to me like where they get this stuff, but obviously they don't have an issue.
The general consensus in Latin America is they don't give a shit.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Well, John, that's I mean, the general consensus. Many places.
True.
Middle East is like that too.
Only here, oh my God.
Right. Don't get us started.
Yeah.
What would the children think if they knew that the NFL player was using a little bit of test, John?
Yeah, now they have
what would we tell the kids?
Nancy Pelosi's freezer couldn't possibly hold enough ice cream to assuage that trauma.
It's great. Awesome. All right. What else did I want to talk about? All right. I got my list of stuff there to talk about.
Let's talk about the swimmer. She can't go swim anymore.
Well, they changed. Yeah, the Olympic Swimming Federation said that there's no more transgender.
No more transgender. I think that's
a transition after 12 years. Before 12 years old, you can't swim with the women, which I think is finally they got a pair of balls and was able to.
No pun intended.
Of course. I don't want to insult anyone. I don't want to be careful because I said balls, but my son, that's his new favorite word, by the way, balls. 6 years old. He's like, my balls. I said, where'd you hear that? Where'd you hear that fucking term?
Oh, you send them to school, they're going to hear everything.
He knows every fucking curse word, everything. And you know what he does? Every time he uses it and gets in trouble, he says, I heard my father uses these words. Man, it's like, I've never heard Dave ever say the word balls. Didn't what's his name, Lenny Dykstra, like write a book called Balls, or was that Nails? So that was something.
There was some soliloquy about balls. I remember. Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's very funny. Very funny. Just
I'm glad. To me, that's a victory. I'm so glad that's happening for women.
John,
for women in general,
John, you're terrible,
aren't I?
Did you see that the Bruce Jenner, I say, Caitlyn Jenner was very outspoken about the whole thing. She was very happy about the fact that, because she believed, she's like, look, I was an Olympic decathlete. There's no way that if I was competing as a woman that anyone would even come close to me.
Agreed. That's common sense.
Yeah.
The rest of her's batshit crazy, but
well, she won Woman of the Year, Dave Chappelle.
Yes, how about that?
Dave just stepped on his. We can't hear you, Dave. You stepped on your.
No, sorry, Dave.
You're on. Now
that's back. Now you're back.
You would think that I would love to see what Caitlyn would have looked like if she had transitioned when she was in her 20s, like right after she won the Olympics.
Like a.
She's looking like a Coach, leather pocketbook right now.
Well, some of those girl bodybuilders that take it like way over the board.
She's in seven, but she's 7. She's also 70 years old, right?
Close to it, right?
I think so. I think she's 70,
68, 70, something like that.
I think she's 70. I guess she looks good for a 70-year-old woman.
The anomaly for me with this guy, girl, whatever, is that I followed Bruce Jenner after the Olympics, and he had an amazing career as a race car driver. For Newman, Nissan, Datsun, Nissan, whatever. He drove a 280Z in IMSA. he had to work for. So he was at a aerospace business with Lear jets and shit. It was already macho, kind of existence, and then this came out of left field to me. I don't know about you guys, but out of all the people that you would suspect are going to turn from a guy to a girl, was Bruce Jenner ever on your list?
No, Mike Tyson wasn't on the list.
Well, actually, seeing him in Gold's Venice, I kind of got, remember when he went through that like little estrogen stage in Venice?
Well, he used to wear those shorts, but everybody kind of did.
No, but he had like his face. You could tell that there was something like going on.
I thought it was plastic surgery he was having done.
Well, that too, but I mean, he was like trying to make himself look like a woman, so that was pretty obvious. It seemed like.
I don't know. He looked pretty dudeish to me when he was training at Gold.
There was always something a little weird about it.
He was a big thing, Olympic gold medalist. I mean, how can you look at him any other way? I mean,
I read his book. I did everything, and I was like, I thought that he was like, that's the guy I wanted to emulate. I mean, we all did. I mean, he was the great American hero. No American had won the decathlon.
And his subsequent career was just incredible. I mean,
yeah. Who really? But Kris Jenner is the one who really put him back on the map. I mean, she made him a shitload of money. So let's go to our epic battles segment. Okay,
we're heading towards one a second ago.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a real epic. I'm going to run our intro and then go right into the epic battles. Here we go. All right, today's epic battle is Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, 2001. Who deserved it? Let's pull up the footage and let's watch this. This was the 2001 Mr. Olympia, Ronnie versus Jay. Were you there, John?
Yep, I remember that.
Chris was prepping. What did Ronnie know? Forget which direction he had to turn. Chris was prepping Jay here. This is before Jay really wasn't on anyone's radar, right, Chris? At this point,
no. The only radar he was on was his own because he already predicted he was going to win. Recently he said in an interview that he felt like he was never going to be able to win the Olympia, and I said that's not true because you said that he was very confident that he was going to catch Ronnie and beat him. Really? Wasn't he? Well, I mean, at this point, he thought he was, but then you had, 3 and 4. At some point, doubt enters your mind, right?
Talk to us here. What you're seeing here. I mean, obviously, Jay's a lot harder than Ronnie.
Jay wins those front shots. That's for sure. Front double. That's okay. So that's the right here, Dave. Nobody would look. Jay's glutes and hams and Christmas tree was. This is not expected. Neither was the front double expected next to Coleman.
Yeah.
So this is why, this idea that Coleman was not in shape is like insane because his back is.
Yeah.
He said that he drank. Isn't this the show that he drank like a gallon of water before the prejudging because he was cramped and he panicked?
Yeah.
And Chad went crazy. He's like, "What do you mean you drank a gallon of water?" And he's like, he said he couldn't get out of bed or something like that. He was like, he felt like he was going to die, So he panicked and he drank a gallon of water. It's like how when your blood sugar goes low, John, and then you wind up eating like 6,000 grams of carbs instead of
You want a funny backstory to this?
Yeah,
I'll tell you after the strange backstory. Ronnie don't hit a side try, really.
Yeah, why doesn't? How come Ronnie can never hit the side tricep?
I don't think he can get his arm around his back.
He does reach it.
Right there, it's hard. That's a hard pose to do.
Yeah, actually.
Jay has a horseshoe there.
Yeah.
You can't hear Dave again. See, Jay had the quad stomp then. He stomps it right here. Boom.
Boom.
Jay had the crazy midsection. Look at the abs. Yeah. The most muscular Jay had too. Watch the most muscular Dave.
Yeah, this was a great shot for Groove.
Yeah.
His pecs were like the hands.
Ronnie had a little bit of water over his abs and his lower back, I think, and that's really what. But then when he came back right the next day, it was dry, if I remember correctly. Jay definitely won prejudging in my mind, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. Well, he did on the scorecards.
Yeah.
Ronnie won the posing. It was a tie. Ronnie won the posing. They counted that by a little.
And Ronnie was the worst poser of all time. That's the funny thing.
And well, it was post 2001, and he pulled the American flag out of his drawers. And the routine was like 20 minutes. He went into the audience, and everyone high-fived him. There's 2 stories to this, Dave.
All right, let's hear the story.
And then he won, like, you know, when they compared him at the end. You know, they used to do that last little, you know, front double, back double, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Jay, the 2 stories are Jay was very confident going into the show, and I thought that he was going to win, and I told him he was going to win. And because you know when someone's bringing something beyond special. And I was working for Weeder, and someone said, "Chris, you have to come to room like 5 something because we have to." You have to. It had something to do with Weeder. So I went to the room at the Mandalay Bay. I bang, 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 bang on the door. Who opens the door in posing trunks? Coleman.
What?
He was. That's what I thought. I'm like, oh my gosh, must be at the wrong room. I'd never even seen Ronnie Coleman up close, other than like in 2000 on the tour.
Right.
And so he says, yes. And I said, Vince here, Scalise? And he's like, I'm here, you know, in the back. So I go in and I talk to Vince about something. And I went back to the room and I said, you're going to win for sure.
Oh, because you looked at Ronnie.
Yes. Dave, I'm dead serious.
Wow.
And I said, you're going to beat him for sure.
Wow.
And then that was the first time they had a 2-day show.
Right.
And so
You got a bad feeling?
Yes, because there was too much positive vibe about Jay winning. There was way too much momentum and positive vibe and enthusiasm. Remember, there was no internet, but just people were like, you know, talking and talking. Jay Cutler. So
you're like, the jinx is in. There's something bad's gonna happen, right?
Dave, I went all the way up into the boondocks, all by myself, and I sat down and I watched that routine that Coleman went all over the venue.
Right.
And I'm thinking, the more that I'm watching it and evaluating it, I say, no way is Jay winning. And I'm dead serious. I hear a voice. They're not going to give it to him. It was Blackman. It was Blackman. He was in the boondocks all by himself with the lease. And I looked over. Dave, John, I can remember it like yesterday. So all the fun we make up, we always make of Blackman.
Yeah, foundation.
He has some pulse on a lot of things.
Yeah,
right?
He absolutely did.
You know, and he's a little weird savant because he could, you know, probably if we got him into a room and you guys wanted to build a website with him, he probably would be a good resource for like kitschy little, like, you know what I mean? And so
no, he would not be a good resource for anything of that. He would be.
He would tell us what the Wall Street Journal is reporting on websites. Yeah.
Well,
John, hold on.
Chris is right. He had an innate sort of, I don't know what you want to call it, clairvoyance.
Sense.
He could tell, like when he looked at Branch Warren when he was, brewing, when Paul Dillette brought him over to us backstage at the Nationals. He didn't even win a pro show. Was still an amateur. And Blackman, like, he said,
he's like the Boys to Men manager. Do you know the Boys to Men manager?
What's that?
Do you know the guy who used to manage Boys to Men?
Yes.
He had no music experience whatsoever. Nothing, but he could put together the group.
He could put together a deal. He could just tell. And Blackman could just tell. He could. It was probably bred.
He must have heard something. Now he must have heard through the grapevine.
I don't know, Dave. So I looked and I got pissed at him. I'm like, but I was sitting up there because I thought they're not going to give it to Jay, maybe. Yeah. And the crowd was still going like crazy for Jay because the crowd's terrible. They always root for the underdog. And at that point, they want to boo Ronnie, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Because they figured, it's the Rocky Balboa, story, like guy coming from nowhere.
It was too many wins, too
much success, John.
Too much, right? Exactly.
They don't like too much success.
Not too much.
So I look at Blackman and I look at him like I could kill him. And he says, it's true. He must have read my mind. It's true. He said, it's true. He said, Joe's not going to let him win. And he said this, I already signed. No. He said, I'm giving him a contract. I'm going to sign him to an exclusive. John, I know you don't believe it. He yelled at me that he was going to sign him to a contract up in the rafters. And sure enough, that weekend, that's what he did. See, isn't that a perfect black man? Okay, what's happening here? Everyone slow down. Who's the talk of the weekend? Cutler?
Right.
Let me run with my pen.
Right.
And offer him something incredible. I'm excited. And he signed it.
Yeah.
And it was like
Jay was probably pissed at Weeder because he didn't get the win here.
Yeah, you know that, Dave.
I was
Black
there.
and Sweet talked with a steak dinner and a shoulder rub.
That was a big steak dinner that weekend.
He gave him like, quote, record breaking money. Nobody had made. I mean, he was going to do a column for like,
probably $100,000. Probably gave
I think it was 75 the first, but he came back years later. I think what did he give him last time? 400?
150.
150, but for how many years?
John and I started RX Muscle, and he flipped out. He had to get Cutler.
He was handing rock 50s to freaking everybody. He had Ronnie at 150, he had Flex Wheeler at 150, Dorian got 150. 20 guys got 150.
Get the W9s, John. Get the W9.
Why cut back? So just hand out the rock 50. So he was just doing it like to everybody. He had at least like all of the. If you weren't under contract with Muscle Tech, you had a.
But no, John, when
retired.
that
was a funny thing. It was everybody was old, retired. Nobody was. It was Dorian. He had retired. It was Flex retired.
He wanted to get all the people that he couldn't sign when Weeder had him. That's why. That's what he was trying to do.
But John, he's like the boy band guy. He signs the people who haven't made it yet, too. He's got the eye for that. He's
got a better eye for that.
He had Kim Kardashian almost under contract
in a dress on the cover.
That's funny.
In a dress. Fitness magazine cover girl.
He had to call up. I think he did. He have to call up Bruce Jenner to find the phone number.
He would have loved calling up Bruce Jenner.
Bruce and him could have exchanged tips.
76 Montreal. Montreal. Was it in Montreal, Dave?
Yeah, Montreal Olympics. You're right.
We ate Wheaties in my house. Everyone had the Wheaties.
Yeah. Let's talk about Justin Rodriguez. Did you see he announced that he wasn't doing the Olympia?
No, he looks good there. That shot.
He said he's skipping the Olympia.
Why?
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe he feels burned out. He's who he's working with now, George? Chris?
I help him only little bit.
He's working with George now, so he's got to.
Well, you know what? George probably, to his credit, realizes this. And I have made this mistake with, let's just say, Hassan. And I said this about Justin, and I said it about Hidetaka one year. You love bodybuilding. You're so focused. Nothing, because you're so dedicated, so focused, so studious. You and precise about how you approach the eating and the diet, the training, the rest. You think you can do shows, plural, and improve. And what happened with Justin last year? I mean, my opinion.
This year,
it started with the tail end of last year because he did a lot of shows last year too. So the last 18-month period, although he got better for a segment of that, and in fact, a lot better for a segment of that, the wear and tear, you have to go in for an oil change.
Yep.
The wear and tear. You think you can do it, but you can't. And your body just gets to a point where you're like, okay, you know what? I'm having a hard time getting lean. I'm going to increase the cardio, decrease the carbs. What happens? Absolutely
nothing.
Less than nothing.
Yeah.
And you get this, because you get the calculator out and you say, okay, I'm only eating 1,500 calories. I'm burning some. How am I not losing weight?
Won't respond,
and your body just says, you know what? You need a break. So
he thought maybe it's a good idea he takes a break, but you know what? By December he might feel good again. So who knows?
Yeah, it's a long way, but what's the surprise part of it is there's still a lot of time.
Yeah.
The not surprise is that
They burnt out a little bit.
Well,
He did too many shows. He was great at the Arnold, and then by New York, nothing was happening anymore.
Yeah.
He should have skipped New York. I know what he wanted to do. He wanted to grab a qualification for the Olympia. Now, if he's going to go to the Olympia, he'd have to wait till like the fall, and that's dangerous because then he might not qualify, and then he did the whole diet for nothing. So it might be better off just to wait for the Arnold next year.
Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to get taller.
He just to make a weight, John.
He just wants to look more imposing. I don't know.
I'm going to come up with a supplement that makes you grow in height.
Yeah.
I'll sell 1 million bottles.
You can just call it GH height. You know how they say? Well, I mean,
you call it tallerize.
How about we call it like somatolize?
No, just call it GH is for people who can't grow at some certain right.
Yeah.
So just call it growth height or something. Growth.
It's funny that bodybuilders take the
gain
most
height. Gain height.
Isn't it funny though that Chris that bodybuilders take the most for GH and then they get no height, because the steroids close your bone plates. That's the problem. We got to come up with a supplement that opens the bone plates up again.
You send them to China. They break the leg. They put that clamp on there. They twist the bolts. There you go. Sometimes you got to do it, manually.
Actually, John, probably a much more beneficial surgery would be if we can widen people. If we could break the collarbone and stretch that a little bit.
I'm sure you could do that. Same process. They just got to be in like this vice, and then you got to separate their shoulders.
They'll have like a little crank right here on each side of it.
There's a dude, I forget his name. He's a little guy, but he's got all these fake muscles implanted in him, and he's got like everything. He's got pecs, he's got biceps, triceps, delts, abs, everything. I think his name is Justin or something. He's this kid, and every single part on him is prosthetic, and it's implant. He helped design some of them. He's got something like 15 of them, 16.
He's like one of these like weirdos that obsessed with implants and stuff like that.
Yeah, so he's constantly getting these surgeries. They're implanting muscle in him, and he keeps his body fat pretty low. But he's built out of clay, basically.
That's fine. That's all right. All right. Last story of the day. Nick Walker, and it seems like Nick Walker and Hunter Labrada have been training together. It seems like Nick Walker is making the rounds. He's going and training with everyone. I don't know if you think he's doing that just to kind of check out what everyone's got going on for the Olympia, or is he just legitimately, traveling around and training with people?
Where's he traveling to? Where is he, in Texas here?
He must be, because that's where Labrada's from.
Yeah, Labrada looks pretty good there.
Yeah, everyone's saying that Labrada's out angling Nick in this picture. He probably is. This is going to be a great battle between these guys, because they're both young, they're both up and coming, they're both improving. They're not on the downswing like some other guys are.
Well,
Labrada might shock a lot of people, at this Olympia.
Labrada's going to step it up big time because he got almost universal criticism for his placing last year.
Yeah,
and he's probably he may put on a face, that doesn't bother him. But if you get a placing at the Olympiad, you get universal criticism that, hey, maybe you didn't deserve this placing. You just put the pedal to the metal, and I'm sure we're going to see something, much better than last year. I mean, what's so funny, Davis? We posted, or you posted, someone posted the pictures when we were kidding, the pictures of Lunsford at Pittsburgh and Nick at Pittsburgh and Labrada at Pittsburgh, and of course Labrada looked very good at Pittsburgh, and I said he looks about 4 pounds less lean than he was at the Olympia, and someone did somewhere a side by side, and that was about what it looked like. In other words, besides the criticism of being quote off for Olympia level conditioning last year, he's way ahead of the game going into this year.
Sure.
Isn't it funny though how Hunter is tall,
yes,
of getting height, and
everything,
and huge, and Lee was like this little short guy, who just had great structure, and it's like almost like the genetics. He got the best from his mother and his father.
The legs, his father had good legs. They were full. They lacked, but they weren't round like Hunter's are.
Yeah, but
his father didn't have the glutes and the hams like Hunter does. Hunter has like big glutes.
Yeah,
I don't think maybe Lee applied the level of technology that exists today.
I don't think anyone did, John, back in that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Lee could have been insane looking if he had.
Yeah.
If you remember when the last couple of years Lee competed, he was going up against when Flex Wheeler was coming into the fray. He did get bigger. He was a lot bigger the last couple of years.
Yep.
I think, and then he realized, I can't get that much more big. I mean, I think he got scared by the whole thing, which was smart, probably. Because
he bridged 1 year, Dave.
Followed by blasting and cruising, of course.
You know what, Dave? I'll never say it, but this was 87.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lee, but I have to brag on your
Bahar.
Lee Labrada, 87. I was at the bodybuilding camp. I know somebody who was helping him, and the person showed me what Lee was taking.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, I swear, if I wouldn't say it on the show how little it was, because people would say, "What an fucking Aceto ass," spewing that bull crap that Labrada only used.
Because
it was like someone getting ready for their first Long Island show with a little bit more.
This was in the 80s, you mean? You're talking
87.
Okay.
87 Olympia. Call up pictures from the 87 Olympia, see what he looked like.
Hey, look, he was shredded.
Granted, he was only 185, so it's not like he was
right.
But when I saw it, I thought, like, that's genetics, man, because I just seen him in the gym, and his shoulders and arms. I mean, he had phenomenal shoulders, phenomenal biceps, phenomenal triceps.
Yeah,
and
tremendous midsection. Always, lean as could be.
Always.
Well, like I said, Hunter got the genetics structurally and condition wise from his father, but his mother's side, they're a lot taller. He told me so. He got the best of both worlds from that marriage. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'd like to see him bring it up.
He could be a future Mr. Olympia guy. We're looking at.
I think he could be. I really do.
Yeah. He's got the youth on his side, which really is helpful.
He's got youth and incredible genetics and a great work ethic. So,
well,
that's a pretty good mix.
A lot of gossip this past week, and congratulations at least to Vitor Buff, who will be going to the Olympia in that open category, winning at the Muscle Contest Brazil. It seems like there's always stuff. Isn't there always controversy, Chris, in Brazil? Remember with Lee Thompson and Cedric McMillan getting disqualified there? It always seems like there's something going on down there in Brazil.
There'll never be a controversy as big as that one.
It's because the toilets flush the opposite direction, right? Is that what happens?
No. That's in Australia.
Oh, no, there's South America. That's
true. That's true. Once you cross the equator, right?
It's funny, but when I've been to Brazil about 4 times or so, and you forget, you think, oh, it's just below us. It's a long freaking flight below us. I got news for you. It takes a long time to get there. It was like 8 hours, 10 hours, something
far
like
away.
that.
Yes.
Me and my wife flew all the way there. We flew Maine to Atlanta, switched to Atlanta. We both slept all the way to Brazil. We were getting ready to land in Rio, and they turned the plane back. I think I might have told this on the show.
What?
Had to go back to Atlanta.
What?
The fog. They get a fog once every couple of years. That's so crazy. I don't know why they didn't just divert us to
They go back to
Atlanta or something like that. Yeah.
The airlines are fakaked. They don't know what the hell. They are the most screwed up industry.
How stupid is that? You have the worst luck with travel, Chris. I got to tell you. I don't know.
Anybody could have terrible luck with travel. That's not that big a deal anymore. I mean, having bad luck with travel, it's harder to have good luck with travel now than it is to get bad luck.
That's true. He has a lot of diverted flights, though, good, John.
Because he flies. If you stay home like me, you don't have any diverted flights.
I got diverted once I was in Australia. Were you with me, Chris, when we got stuck in the lounge with Ronnie Coleman? I don't think
you.
I think I was in there.
You were stuck for
We were. I was in there for like 6 or 7 hours with Ronnie. I don't know who ate. I don't know if It was an even battle between Ronnie and I who ate more at the lounge there. Because they give you free food, and the Australian lounge was amazing. And Ronnie and I were going up 40 trips to the lounge, and we were just talking about everything. That was great. Everyone else was just drinking alcohol and getting drunk. Ronnie and I ate all the food that was there. I'm like, this food is pretty good, Ronnie. He goes, oh, yeah, man, this is great food.
Did they have barbecue sauce?
I don't know. They must have. I didn't want to let Ronnie out eat me or anything like that. Now, this is after we were both retired, obviously, but right. I still didn't want to let Ronnie out eat me. So, all right, guys. As we say every week here at Heavy Muscle Radio, with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the
truth hurts.
Good night, everyone, and thanks for joining us live. We'll see you next week.
Good night.